Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to my webinar, Broke Mentality Myth Buster Masterclass. This is how to stop blocking your coins by thinking yourself broke. And I just want to thank everybody for joining today and for taking part in this. Is one of the many things to come in the new year. And I hope you found this as valuable as I did. So now I want to get right into it and discuss the four myths that I believe are blocking people from becoming wealthy. So I just want to let everybody know to start. The first thing I want to let you know is that regardless of what you do for a living, you have the ability to be wealthy. It's the way your mind functions that holds you back. Like what you think is what is holding you back from being wealthy. Because all these people out here, it's not about how much money they have in their bank account. It's how they think, because there's people that have millions of dollars and they go broke in a couple of years, and there's people that have nothing and they become millionaires. So we're going to find out what the difference is between those two different groups of people. So now first I want to go over who I am. My name is Sasha Madeline, and for 12 years I've been a financial enthusiast. I've been working professionally as a banking officer for two of the largest banks in the world. I'm not going to divulge where they were, but they were two of the largest banks in the world, and they've taught me a lot about money. So in this time, I realized that wealth is a mindset. It's not a number. So the way you think is what wealth is. It's not the amount of money that you have in your bank account. I have a deep passion for creating wealthy people. I'm not as interested, and as a banking officer, it was always important to find the people with the money and make money off of them. And that's never something that I was interested in doing. What I wanted to do was create wealthy people from the ground up, because the people that are wealthy already, they have the formula already. The people that have the money already have that formula of wealth and they understand it. It's the people, I'm an educator at heart. So it's those people to me that needed me the most, because I was able to not let the wealth that I saw get in my head and stop me from still helping the people that needed it the most. So I want to teach you the formula to becoming wealthy. And I don't believe that wealth discriminates based on race or background or gender. It's a 100% mind shift. With the way that things are going now, you will think that if you are of a certain background, certain gender, or whatever, that you don't have the ability to be wealthy. But that's still psychological. So it's completely the way that you're thinking. So one of the most important things that I want you to take away from this masterclass today is that wealth happens in the mind before it happens in the bank account. I know some people are saying, what? That doesn't make sense. Like, what do you mean? Isn't money what's in your bank account? And again, I will tell you that you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have the right mind frame, if you're not in the right frame of mind, you will not be able to turn that richness into wealth. And there's a big difference between being rich and being wealthy. So I want everybody to raise your hand if you want more vacations than work days. I know you can't see me, but I'm raising my hand too. So yeah, me too. But before you start building up that bank account, or at least simultaneously, you need to understand and break down the myths we have been led to believe as a society, so you can elevate your wealth capacity. You have the ability to make as much money as you want, but only if you are willing to break the way you think or reshape the way you think, add on to it. Because some of us understand already, but we need to understand that no matter who you are, no matter how much money you have the ability to be wealthy. So the first myth is that wealth is about money. I will say wholeheartedly that it is not about money. It's 100% a mindset, which is why you behave differently when you have a wealthy mindset as opposed to just a lot of money. Some of us have, we get our tax money every year. Some people, depending on your situation, you might have a couple of $1,000, and then come April, May, there's no money left. It might be as early as February, March, you might not have any money left. You could quite possibly have spent the money already before you even got it. So I want us to understand that in real life, I've seen people go through $100,000 simply by buying all of their friends' cars. I saw this happen. I was working at the bank, and there was a guy who came in, and he was young, and he came with all his friends, and he was going to spend all of his money buying all of his friends' cars. Depending on your depending on your financial knowledge, it is possible to do something like purchase something and make money from it if it's an investment. But simply bringing all of your friends into the bank, knowing that you have a certain amount of money and buying them cars, there's no way that you can build wealth off of that. Your money is going to be gone before you even have the opportunity to smell it or see it. I also had a client who got a $330,000 check overnight from a lawsuit. She got a check, and she came back a few months later. Literally, it was less than a year, and her account had a negative balance. It was about $300 negative. Mind you, she had $330,000. She deposited once it was clear. To be honest, I have no idea where the money went. But because of her mind frame, she was not able to turn that. She could have turned that $330,000 into $1 million, depending on what she did with it. But because she was not willing to listen to other people, she blew through that money so quickly and then had a negative balance, which is absolutely amazing. On the other hand, I also saw someone turn a regular paycheck into $100,000, and it was like 2 or 3 years, and they were able to fix their credit completely to buy a house with a minimal down payment just because they saved all of their money. They changed the way they thought. They weren't able to splurge the way they normally did. They weren't able to do certain things because they knew they had a goal and they wanted to finish it, and they wanted to be able to buy a house. And that house is still standing now. So that is, it all depends on the way that you think. And $300,000 is more than $100,000, but that $100,000 did more than the $300,000. It's simply because of the way the individual thought. So the second myth is that you can become wealthy simply by saving all of your money. This is still inaccurate because that's just having a lot of money. The moment the money is gone, you have the more money. So it's in your head. If you save all your money and you're doing stuff with it, your mentality is to be able to build on that. That's one thing. But if all you have is you think you save all your money and you're wealthy, if that money is gone, if something happens, for whatever the reason is, whether it's your fault or somebody else's, if the money is gone, your money is gone. There's no way to get it back. If you go out of work and you have to use that money to pay your bills, the money is gone. But where was your frame of mind when you were saving it? And that's the thing. In real life, how are you going to get the money back? What was going on in your head while you were saving it that will even make you want to do it again? Because you did it the first time, and I'm sure it was difficult. If you don't have that wealthy mentality, how are you going to be able to save again? How hard was it? What did you have to give up to save money? What did you have to give up to be able to, survive on a minimal paycheck or minimal amount of money to be able to save the money? And are you willing to do it again? Do you have the mental strength to do it all over again? With the foundation of a wealthy mentality, the money will save itself because it will come naturally to you. There's no way that you can save money properly if you do not understand, because if you don't have the wealthy mentality, the moment your money goes into your savings account, you're going to transfer it to your check. You're going to spend it on something. You're going to find something to spend it on, whether it's a bill that's necessary or if it's something that's unnecessary. If you do not have the ability to have that foundation of a wealthy mentality, you're not going to be able to save that money. Even if it goes into your savings, you won't be able to save it. The third myth is that you can lose your wealth. This is impossible. You can't lose your wealth because, as I mentioned, your wealth is your mentality. Your wealth is not the physical money or the cars or the house or anything that you have that's tangible. It's not something you can touch. It's something that's in your head. If you are wealthy, you have it in your mind to remain that way and will consistently find ways to make more money. In real life, wealth is a way of life. It is a feeling, it's an emotion, it's something that you go through. It's not something that you can touch. You can never touch wealth. You can touch money. Money can come and go, but the wealth is in your mind. It's why we look at people and wonder, what in the world are they doing to make so much money? There's some people, like, if you don't research, like Nick Cannon, You may not know what he's doing. You may not know how he's making money, but once you start to research him and realize exactly what he's doing, how his mind works, you realize that that's the reason why he has so much money. And on the other hand, there's people that have millions and millions of dollars, and then the moment that they drop off the scene, they have no more money left. How do you have millions of dollars, and then when you're not out and popping in the scene and popping bottles, you don't have anything left? How is it possible that you have all that money and you're still broke? The fourth myth, which is the one that ties everything together and is significantly important, because wealth is not one generational. The fourth myth is that your wealth is only for the benefit of you. If you build your wealth and it does not sustain your future generations, it's not necessarily wealth. You may have a wealthy mentality, but if you can't pass it down, it kind of is stagnant. Many wealthy people become wealthy because of a legacy. A lot of people become wealthy because their parents left them money or a life insurance policy or a profitable business. The communal or community wealth comes from familial or family wealth. A lot of the wealthy communities are that way because of a legacy and because of a dynasty, because they work together and passed it down to their children, and their children work together. A lot of times when we think of wealth, we think of the money that's in our bank account. We don't think of our children. We don't think of the things that we're going to leave to them. You're building your dynasty and your legacy is not based on things such as race or culture. Diddy is African American, but he has built a dynasty and a legacy that he is able to teach his kids how to be wealthy. He's able to teach his kids how to sustain money in a world where a lot of times people of color are getting judged, and we don't think that we have the ability to become wealthy simply because of how we look. These things are 100%, in closing the four myths, they're based on your mentality. 100%. If you don't think that you'll be wealthy, no matter how much money you get, you're not going to be wealthy. If we all had the same amount of money, would we fulfill the same destiny of success? Would we have the same motivation to obtain and maintain wealth? Why or why not? Why would one person have $1 million, the next person have $1 million? One person can turn it into 10 million. The other person can spend it over the course of a couple of months, or maybe a couple of years, probably a couple of months with the way things are going now. What is it about the person that they can have the same amount of money but have a different outcome? So on the next page, you're going to find some questions. Now, I don't want you to answer the questions how you think I want you to answer them. I want you to answer them with the mentality you had up until before you watched this masterclass. It is something that a lot of us don't really think about. We just kind of live our day-to-day life and just are. And like for me, I've been fortunate to be in finance right out of college. It was about a year after I graduated from college, I started working in the bank. And I was very fortunate to be involved in something that a lot of us don't take seriously. And a lot of us think that we're living a certain life, but we're kind of living each day like on a hamster wheel, because we don't understand how to remove ourselves from it. And I think that that's the issue that we have. We're on the hamster wheel and it's spinning around and around in circles. And we know that that's the way that it's supposed to go, but we don't realize that if we step off and do something a little differently, we can have different activity, throughout our life. And I think that it's relevant to mention that sometimes we hope and pray for material wealth. We're thankful for the roof over our head and the food on our plate and the clothes on our back, and all of that is important. But we don't pray for the mental capacity to handle it when it arrives. So all these things that we want, we don't understand it once we get it. We don't know how to build it once we get it. So we want the material wealth, but we don't have the mentality to go along with it. And that's historical. There's a lot more involved in that. And that's kind of where I'm trying to break us all in so that we can begin to change our mentality so that we don't need to depend on anybody else for certain things. We don't have those mental breaks when it comes to things like wealth and things like money and working. We don't have those issues. So I think that that's something that we really need to focus on before we become a boss, before we can be entrepreneurs, before we can have Black enterprise, Black Wall Street. We need to be okay in our minds. And I think that that's one of the most important things when it comes to wealth. Like it's not just about building your bank account. It's about repairing your mind. And and these are the questions that, I was kind of going into a little bit of what I'm going to be doing in the future, but I want to get, bring myself back to this webinar about, the 4 myths. Look at the questions below, not the 4 questions, sorry. Look at the questions below and consider what you would do if you woke up tomorrow and had $100,000 in your bank account. What's the first thing you would do? Like the first thing you open your bank account, it's yours. Like it's not it's not a mistake or anything. Like this $100,000 for whatever reason is in your bank account. What's the first thing you're going to do? Who are the people that you're going to tell? Are you going to tell anybody? What is your 6-month plan for that $100,000? A lot of people have a couple of different opinions on what they should do within the first 6 months. But that's one of the most, because you get excited when you see the money. So what would you do within the first 6 months when you got the money? How long do you think that $100,000 will last you? Do you think it'll last you past the 6 months? For some of us it will, some of us it won't. What will you do after that money is gone? If the money is gone, depending on your mentality, what would you do if the money was gone? So it's kind of like, it seems like the formula is a secret. Wealthy people are kind of in a bubble. They know the formula to wealth. They don't share it because if they share it, then they have to share that mentally. They would have to share their wealth. There's a lot of wealthy people that, they kind of freak out when there's other people that are in their circle because they feel like if they're wealthy, if other people become wealthy, they have to share their privilege and they have to share their wealth. There's enough wealth to go around. And that's the thing that people don't get. And those are people that we don't need to be involved with. The people that we need to be involved with are the people that are willing to share the wealth, and everybody is wealthy and can enjoy their life for as long as they're breathing, because you have no idea how long you'll be on this earth. And we all want to have a great life while we're here. So it doesn't matter what anybody else says. The formula to wealth should be shared with everybody. And it's definitely easier than equals MC squared. I can promise you that. Wealthy people know the formula. They already know it. They were either born knowing it or they figured it out throughout their life. Now you know that it exists. And what you do in the future depends on you. I do have a couple of things in the work that I will be sharing in the couple of weeks and months, discussing the formula or how I've interpreted the formula and how I think it will benefit all of us. The formula I have beautifully named it the Elite Method, ELITE. I want everyone to stay tuned because that is a course that is coming up soon, and I will be going over that formula and how I think we'll be able to build our wealth. And I want to thank everybody for taking the time to listen up until the end of the webinar today, and I hope to see you all in the future. I hope to work with you all on future projects. I definitely want us to stay connected. My website is here, SashaMadeleineandCo.com. My Instagram and Twitter is Love Sasha Olivia. And my Facebook, I have the Boss Up Mentality. And you can email me at the email below as well. And if you have any questions, any concerns, if you want to pre-register for the Boss Up Mentality, just let me know that you're interested and I will send you some information on it. And other than that, it was a pleasure speaking with everyone today, and I look forward to the future. Have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon, night, wherever you are in the world listening to this now. It's been an honor. Thank you so much.